again. I told you I would be back. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I am your host, Tiffany Daniels, and welcome to another segment of That Word Doesn't Mean What You Think It Means. This is the Autism Awareness Month edition. And folks, today we are going to be talking about the word autism, what it actually is, and the many things that people say it is, but that it is not, and how it is used incorrectly. This may turn into a wee bit of a rant. So let's get started. Our definition is coming to us today, courtesy as always to Merriam-Webster.com. As always, folks, we will include the link to the definition in the description. So let's see what Webster defines autism as. Autism, noun. Definition of autism. A variable developmental disorder that appears by age 3 and is characterized especially by difficulties in forming and maintaining social relationships, by impairment of the ability to communicate verbally or non-verbally, and by repetitive behavior patterns and restricted interests or activities. The chief diagnostic signs of autism are social isolation, lack of eye contact. You can't tell, can you? I'm sure you can. Poor language capacity. Yeah, that's not my strong suit. I'm very verbal. And restricted interests and activities. So, absence of empathy has actually been proven wrong, by the way. They've got some updating to do, as you can obviously see here. Okay, so that is our definition of autism. Now, autism as improperly defined is so many facets that I can't begin to cover them all in just one video. But there are many who have put it down as a gut disease. That's where this whole concept of the gluten-free diet came from. Thank you, Jenny McCarthy, who claimed in a book that she was able to cure her son's autism by putting him on a gluten-free diet. Now, Jenny dear, if you could cure your son's autistic traits by a gluten-free diet, either he is a master at masking, or what he did have was actually some stomach issues, and he never had the diagnosis in the first place. Okay, I'm glad we've covered that. We also have the anti-vax view, which I have a very militant dislike. The dangers of not vaxxing are enormous, especially right now. But that's a different subject entirely. But these folks believe that the shots that we receive when we are babies, the booster shots and all of that, that the mercury contained in the needles actually cause children to develop autism. The fact of the matter is, there is more mercury in a can of tuna than you will find in any vaccine. I just figured I should tell you the facts on that, and I hardly think you got autism due to the fact that your mom ate some tuna and had a craving for it when she was pregnant, okay? Just so we established that. There's also the old refrigerator mom thing that's been around since the 40s. The newest one I've actually seen is this whole concept of bottle feeding. Plastic bottles. Yeah, it's crazy. They have talked about causes such as the chemicals in your food, and all kinds of things. Now, folks, it is what I like to call a it's a neurodevelopmental disability. Developmental because there are developmental delays involved. Neuro because it is a neurological disorder. It all begins in the brain. That's why I've always called it a neurodevelopmental disability. Just kind of to give that off there. Basically, most often people will take this basic definition here and give it additional meanings. Unable to feel emotion, for example. Lack of comprehension for sarcasm. Not being able to joke. Not being able to feel sympathy or empathy for another person. Completely self-fixated. Fixated on particular subjects to a person's own detriment. There is a ton of connotations that are wrongly applied to people with autism all the time, even in this definition. But when you got people who take this definition, completely disregard it, and say that this neurodevelopmental disability is being caused by chemicals, by vaccines, from leaky gut syndrome, well, there's an issue there because that creates a whole new era of snake oil salesmen. I'm sure you've seen them online. If you take this powder, right? If you take this powder and it's going to fix your kid's leaky gut and they're not going to be autistic. You're going to take this pill, right? You're going to take this pill and it is going to fix the chemicals that were put into the child and it's going to fix their autism. Or my personal favorite, if you use this detox program, if you use this overexpensive hundreds of dollars detox program, it's going to get all the toxins out from the MMR vaccine and it's going to cure your kid's autism. And it leeches millions of dollars off of desperate parents every single year. And it traumatizes the autistic kids who are put through the ringer and have these so-called magical cures forced down our throats. And they're going to be slinging their wares all Autism Awareness Month. I'm expecting it to even see advertisements for this crap on my freaking timeline. I just am. Autism is a neurodevelopmental disability. It is genetic. I can say this with 100% assurance because more often than not, somewhere in your genetic line, it can be your parents, your uncle, your aunt, your grandparents. Somewhere on the line, there is somebody with a neurodiverse diagnosis that is in your family. Neurodiverse diagnosis includes ADHD, dyslexia, dyscalculia. There's a bunch of them. And more than likely, if the parent or an aunt, an uncle, or a grandparent has a neurodiverse disorder, such as dyslexia, ADHD, dyscalculia, the list goes on, then more than likely, the chances for these folks to somewhere along the line produce an autistic child in their family, it's that much higher. It's a genetic thing, and all you have to do is take a look at these families, and more than likely, you're going to find that one person. And it carries on to person until, hi, how you doing? I pop a log. All right. That's generally how it works. That's what autism is. It's a neurodevelopmental disorder that comes along due to genetics. Okay? It's being misapplied so that snake oil salesmen can make millions of dollars off of desperate parents every year. When we misdefine what autism is, whether it's to sell a cure or whether it's blatantly by people like the media who want to display us as unfeeling, sociopathic, psychopathic monsters that want you dead and don't care about anyone and have no feelings, you stigmatize millions of kids all around the world all the time. So, if you believe that vaccines cause autism, if you believe leaky gut causes autism, if you believe refrigerator moms cause autism, if you believe a plastic bottle causes autism, if you believe not breastfeeding your child causes autism, then I only have one thing to say to you. That word doesn't mean what you think it means. All right, if you stick around with me all Autism Awareness Month, folks, we're going to have more That Word Doesn't Mean What You Think It Means Autism Awareness Month edition, so be on the lookout for those. Now, I am finally done for this afternoon. You will see me later over on Rob Rules. That's 5:30 Central Standard Time, 6:30 Eastern Standard Time. Please come and join us there. It should be a lot of fun. I do appreciate you all sticking it out with me and, putting up with 3 videos in one day. I appreciate your time this afternoon. And as always, folks, I do hope you have a very good one. Bye-bye. Now remember, folks, I'm still fighting with this software. Apparently muting myself didn't quite work last time, so if you hear me get frustrated, I apologize.